Well, they're telling us just very little at this point, but this is a situation that is developing and changing by the minute. We are at the intersection of Fort Christmas Road and Lake Mills Road, outside of Chuliota, a little bit north of the Orange Seminole County line. Behind me, you can see that the entrance to Pickett Downs is blocked off by flashing lights and patrol cars in that direction. And again, patrol cars have been going in and out of here. The Critical Incident Command post just rolled in here, so they are in here for the long haul, indicating that there's a lot of work to do. From Chopper 2 over the Pickett Downs area, we can see the area where they are investigating at this point. The sheriff's office saying simply that they are investigating a suspicious death at a home inside of Pickett Downs with multiple people involved.
On January 25th, 2019, the sheriff's office called to the Amato home after a co-worker called police to express concern that Cody Amato, one of Grant's older brothers, hadn't come to work.
Hi beautiful fam, how are you today? Hope you are shining bright as ever. So let's just get into today's killer case. Amato family was a well-to-do family living in Florida and consisted of Chad, Margaret, and their 3 sons, Cody, Grant, and Jason. Jason was the adopted son of the couple and was the eldest one, followed by Cody and Grant, who was the youngest one. On January 24, 2019, Cody's co-workers called the police to do a welfare check on the family. They reported that Cody had not shown up for work and was not even answering his calls. As the police approached the Amato house, they noticed that the windows on the ground floor were all covered by newspapers. So the police had to break in the house using a knife to open the front door. As they entered the house, they saw Chad lying dead on the kitchen floor with a bullet shot to the back of his head. There was chicken lying out for defrosting next to Chad's office tiffin. This suggests that Chad was shot immediately after he entered the family house and was about to prepare for the dinner. As the police went further, they saw Margaret lying crouched down in front of her computers, also been shot in the back of the head. It is believed that she was shot while she was working in her home office. Cody was found lying a fetal position next to the garage door, also shot in the head. Police believe that he had just entered the house via the garage door when he was shot dead. Both Chad and Cody had guns lying next to them. So the police at the moment thought that this was a murder-suicide case. But as they went further in the house, they noticed that Grant was missing and so was his car. On forensic testing, they concluded that the crime was not a murder-suicide situation because they found out that the gunshots were fired from a different gun and not from the ones that were found lying next to the bodies of Chad and Cody. This made them suspicious of Grant. So they immediately went out looking for him. And he was found in a hotel just a few miles down from the family house. As soon as Grant opened the door to the police, he just simply turned around to let the police handcuff him. He did not ask a single question of why they were there to arrest him. On police interrogation, Grant said that he had left the house at 9:30 p.m. that day after a heated argument with his father. He said that his dad had kicked him out of the house and told him to live on his own. But later he changed his story and said that he left the house at 12:30 a.m. that night, went to supermarket to get some water and food and then headed to the hotel for the night. But the police knew that he was telling lie. But Grant would not confess after murdering his family in cold blood and execution style.
Get you another water. Thank you, sir. Thank you. My full name is Grant Tiernan Amato.
How do you spell Tiernan?
T-I-E-R-N-A.
You come out and do what? You probably were to go where? Where are you going?
I was going to go down because I had like one more bottle of water in my car, and I had just finished eating like just a little granola bar thing, so I was like, I'm just going to go down and get my bottle of water.
And you found what? When you came outside?
I mean, I left the house later than what I had said.
Did you leave the house with your brother Cody looking like that? Or did you leave the house with your father looking like that? Or your mother? Is that how you left your family?
Police asked Grant about the reason he was kicked out of his home by his father. That is when they get to know the whole story and a motive behind the killings. Grant tells them that for the past 4 months, he has been using the money of his father and brother Cody to have explicit interaction with a Bulgarian webcam model named Sylvie. He said he has to make payments in order to talk to Sylvie. Grant used to spend hours late at night on Sylvie's exclusive webcam sessions. He had become addicted to this girl so much so that he had spent $200,000 till date on her. All this money was stolen by Grant from Chad's and Cody's credit cards. Chad had graduated as a nurse and worked for some time in a hospital before he was kicked out by the hospital for stealing a bunch of anesthetic medication. He claims that he only stole the medication for the patients he felt were not given enough anesthetic by the doctors. Once he was kicked out, he lost any motivation to get a job, and so he ended up living with his parents and using their money to satisfy his every need, including the obsession with Sylvie. When his family would question him about the large sum of money he was spending, he would lie about it and say that he used it to promote his gaming channel on Twitch. Grant would also send sex toys and lingerie to Sylvie.
And what were you buying with it?
Well, what I was doing is, over the past 4 months or something like that, I've been talking to this woman online.
Who's she?
She's, as embarrassing as it is, she's a cam model.
A what?
A cam model. Do
All right.
either of you guys know what
Nope.
A cam model is like it's like a virtual girlfriend, I guess you could say.
Okay.
Like that type of situation.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of the money went to her.
Okay. Where's she at?
She lives in Bulgaria.
Where?
Bulgaria?
Where's that?
Over in Europe. It's like
Okay.
outside of Germany.
Okay.
Something like that.
You ever been there?
No.
Okay.
It wasn't that serious.
So
Okay.
what would you give her money for?
Just for like the time online with her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it was just like that type of thing.
And what does she charge? By the minute? By the hour?
Minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how much is it per minute?
Oh God, I think it was like 90 tokens a minute, and it's like the conversion rate for all of that is $600 for like 5,000 or something tokens or something like that. So, and then it was 4 hours a night. So I mean, that's basically just where all like the costs went to, was you pay real money for the tokens, then you use the company's digital currency for that.
So you do that, and when did you meet her?
I met her beginning of July. Yeah, at the very beginning of July. Money came from me, my brother, and then my dad.
Did they know where the money was going to?
They didn't know that it was going to a cam model.
What did you
I
tell
was
them?
saying that it was going towards my Twitch streaming, like advertising, like putting my name out there and that type of thing.
But based on what you're telling me, only so many people make so much money. So I think just a few,
Just a
and every
handful.
make a bunch of money.
Right.
So that was like the ultimate goal, is to get to that.
I was hoping that the stars would align, and then I would be like one of those people, because I was good at the games, and I'm a funny, pleasant person on the camera and that type of thing. So
how much do you think you spent on this?
probably close to like $200,000, I'd say.
All this led to Amato family going in debt. So his family put him in a rehabilitation center of internet addicts for a course of 60 days. But Grant managed to get out of it in only 2 weeks. As Grant was gone to the rehab, Chad and Cody decided to check his laptop, and that is when they found about his obsession with Sylvie. So when Grant returned home, Chad set a group of rules for him to follow if he wanted to stay in his house. Grant was no longer allowed to get in contact with Sylvie and was not allowed to use the internet. But Grant would convince his mother to let him have her cell phone, through which he would continue to talk to Sylvie on Twitter. So on January 24, 2019, Chad found about this and thus told Grant to leave the house and not return back. Grant told investigators that he just packed his bags and left. But the investigators had caught on to his lies.
I had my argument, and then I'm packing my stuff. I'm, taking it out to the car. It took me like a couple hours to get as much as I could, just kind of out into there. And then, yeah, it's like Mom's kind of just staying out of it to a certain degree, because she knows like how Dad can be. And then, and that's just pretty much where I was just kind of like waiting. After I met with Cody, then that's where, I was again just kind of staying around that area. And then I just went to the public. And then to my knowledge, that was the last interaction that I had with the 3 members of my family was that.
When you left Cody, what did he say he was going to go do?
Cody said that he will take care of it.
Take care of what?
Just the situation that was at hand.
Did your father say or do anything to scare you?
He had threatened me that if I stepped foot back on his property, not the house, but if I stepped foot back on his property, that he would kill me. And like he
said those specific words?
Yeah.
Did you tell that to Cody? That your
No.
father told you that?
No, I didn't.
So you're afraid of him.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I'm more than willing to sit here all day and all night if you want to talk, to find the facts. But I can't. I told you from the beginning, I will not deal with somebody that's not being truthful with me. You're not being truthful. You are not telling me the truth. You've lied, and we've forgiven you over that. We've forgiven you over it. You can't lie about this, Grant. You can't. This is too important for your family of what has happened. There's not somebody out running around the United States to kill them. There's not. There's nobody out there, some hidden killer. There's not. You don't show the remorse that you should for someone who's lost 3 family members. Body language, eyes, and demeanor. Here's the time, man. I know it's tough. Tell the truth, because when I walk out, there's no another day.
And it's going to look worse for you when we prove it by the DNA, the gunpowder, the blood spatter, fingerprints. Now is the time for you to be honest with us, and it's exactly what happened in that house.
We've come and talked to you. You rode up here voluntarily with us to talk to us. Why do you think we're having this conversation?
I honestly don't know, but I'm pretty freaked out at this point because, you know, it's, I mean, I know, like, how the situation was when I left, and, you know, I thought that it was weird to begin with that I hadn't gotten any communication whatsoever. I mean, like I told you, my brother, Cody, the last time when I was away from the house, that he was the one who outreached to me via email because, again, I didn't have my phone or anything like that. So, I mean, I thought that it was weird, but I had just been kind of putting it out of my mind thinking, okay, you had to go to work or they're busy or
There's something you want to tell us. I can see it in your eyes, I can see it in your body language, and just the way you act. Now's the time. Now's the time. There's something you want to get off your chest and give us an explanation of what's bothering you. Now is the exact time to do it. And I'm giving that opportunity right now to tell me something you want to get off your chest. It's there. I can see it in your face. I can see it in your eyes.
You kept out about that night.
You're upset about it. You've been that since we've talked to you. I can see there's something been bothering you.
I'm just worried about what is all transpiring from this.
I think at this point right now, to be honest with you, Grant, you know what it is. It's in your eyes. Your eyes is the view to your soul, and it's in your eyes.
I genuinely don't have anything else that I can say about the night or, you know, the period of time afterwards. I honestly, I don't have anything else that I can really say.
You think something bad has happened at your house, and to date, so long, you haven't asked us about anybody.
I mean, you're a smart guy. You know something's happened at your home. You have law enforcement here. You haven't heard or gotten any emails.
I mean, I'm just scared as to what the answer is. I genuinely don't have anything else that I can say about what transpired during the nighttime.
So when you left your house, everybody was fine.
Yeah.
And when you left Cody,
everything was fine.
Nobody else went into that house.
Who left your family like this? If you were the one that's been depressed, you were the one that owes money, you were the one that got into a confrontation with your father, who did this to your family? If you were trying to defend yourself or something else happened, we need to know now to help you. So tell us what happened, Grant. We're here to listen to you.
Grant, you need the truth. We're here to make this right. You've got to tell the truth. It's on the tip of your tongue, my man. I get that.
Did your father go after you and you try to protect yourself?
No, I didn't do any of this.
There's something that's going to come up that is going to make this all come real. I'd rather it come from you than have to do it that way.
The evidence tells us what happened. You have to fill in the blanks. They can't tell me what happened.
Fact, I know. She never held a gun. She didn't have a gun that night. Fact, he never fired a gun. Fact, he never fired a gun. She never did. This is the person right here, Mom, who always stuck up for you. Something happened so bad that caused her death, your dad's death, and Cody. And I'll tell you just about how it happened. 1, 2, 3, based on evidence. Based on evidence. I know he did not shoot your mom. I know he didn't shoot your dad. I know he didn't shoot himself. And I know from video surveillance camera in the neighborhood, nobody else came to that house. I know. I can account for everybody that went to the house. I know.
So tell us what happened.
I know it. Listen to me. Hey, I know. Video surveillance tells me everything that happened this night. I'm telling you. Of people that you'd be surprised who in your neighborhood has video. And I know that there's only 4 people at this house during this time. 1, 2, 3. There's something.
And you still haven't asked us the position of them or anything.
That's because I mean, I don't know what the normal proceedings are, but
The normal proceedings are for you to be honest.
No, I mean, I never did anything like that.
There's nothing else that happened in that home while you were there that would lead up to that.
No.
Your father didn't point a gun at you.
There was nothing else more than what I had said.
Then who do you think did this?
I don't know. I don't have the answer.
Jason, Grant's eldest brother, used to live in a separate house with his wife and kids. Police brought him in to talk to Grant in hopes that Grant would confide in Jason and confess, but Grant still stood on his ground even after Jason pleaded with him to tell the truth.
All right, so I take it you know what happened. Yeah. I'm going to ask you plain out. You are not part of it anyway. No. I don't know. I want to believe you, Grant, but you're the last person that I could put in that house. And I know what happened over the last 6 months. I can understand the troubles that you've gone through, but it's hard for me to think that you would break to this point. Mm-hmm. But who else can I blame? How are we going to find out who did this? I don't know. I don't have the answers. I love you more than anything in this world, just like I loved Cody, Grant, and Dad. I know Dad was an asshole. I know Cody was an asshole. But they were our family, and they would have never done anything to hurt us. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. I don't believe you. And I probably will have resentment for the rest of my life, whether you did it or you didn't do it. But I need closure. I need to know what happened to my mother, my father, and my brother Cody. Because I wasn't there to fucking help. And that hurts me. That hurts me a lot, man. I may not have been able to stop you. You probably may have hurt me too. But at least I would have known what happened. And now I'm in fucking who knows what now. I'm lost. And it scares me that you want to leave here and not face what happened. Because you're putting my life at risk then. You're putting Donna's life at risk, Grandma's life. How do we know what you're going to do?
You have anything else you need to talk about before we let you go? Because now's your time. You know that. Like Danny said, once you're out of here, there's no coming back from this. We're giving you every opportunity to tell us what happened in that home that you have not told us. Mm-hmm. So you're aware that when you leave here, you're not going to have any chance to redeem yourself and tell us the truth after the fact.
I understand.
And you're okay with that. You can live with yourself knowing that you're not going to tell us the truth.
I understand.
When though Grant never confessed to the murders, he was convicted on January 28, 2019 for all the 3 murders and was sentenced to life in prison without any possibility of parole.
Based upon this case, 2019 CF 337 CFA, the state of Florida versus Grant Amato, you've been found guilty of 3 counts for killing both your mother, your father, and your brother, Margaret Amato, Chad Amato, and Cody Amato. At this point, you've been found guilty by a jury of your peers who have now indicated that you are not to be sentenced to the death penalty. Based upon those circumstances, the court is limited to 1 finding and 1 sentence for you. As to each count, the court would adjudicate you guilty. I would sentence you to life imprisonment without any possibility of parole as to each count.